All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless you. It's your brothers from IUIC Hawaii, back with another episode of Sands of the Sea. All
Yeah.
right, where we talk about all things pertaining to Oceania and the islands of the Pacific. All right, so we're coming at you with another topic today. Officer, what we got going on today?
Today we talking about unity, right? The purpose of unity, why there is no unity amongst the Black and Hispanic community in Hawaii, right? We're addressing those things, right? Things that you might deal with as a person that lives here.
Right, right, for sure, for sure. That is definitely a common theme here in Hawaii with a lot of the brothers and sisters that we speak with. That's one of the things that they often talk about. It's unknown
Mhm.
until you actually present it to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, I see it now.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. There, we have no unity."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's a great topic. I mean, especially here where you hear terms like Ohana
Mhm.
and Kuleana, not
So
Kuleana.
now what does Ohana mean? Because a lot of people might
Everybody's
not
seen Lilo and Stitch.
know. I ain't never seen it.
Ohana means family.
I ain't never seen it. And I seen everything. So if I ain't seen it, there's a chance everybody out there might not seen it. It means family, huh?
Have you seen Lilo and Stitch? Have you seen Lilo and Stitch?
Now hold on, he didn't answer. Have you seen?
No, he
look,
said yeah. He said yeah.
Oh, okay, all
He
right,
said
all right,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. We're
Yeah.
2 for 3. 2 for 3.
I'll take the rebuke. Right. Maybe I'll go check it out.
But no,
Possibly.
it's not worth your time.
Okay,
It's
I get it.
it's a kids cartoon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I got kids.
Yeah, you do actually. Just go ahead.
Maybe. They got Samuel L. Jackson in there. He played a black guy.
I don't know too much detail.
Oh,
All right, I don't
okay.
know.
Now we don't know.
I don't-
But anyway, Ohana means family.
Right,
Ohana means family.
Right.
There's like a family theme going on in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
But what does that mean for our people? Are
Right.
we accepted as Ohana, right? Or do we think like that, like the other nations think of Ohana? Is that
Right.
something that
Nope.
I don't come across that when I talk to our people out here?
Nope.
They be like me.
No, and when they think of Ohana, they think of Hawaiian.
Yeah.
They think of the other nations. They don't think of their own people.
Mhm.
They think of the other nations, and that's one of the big things that prevents unity here. We were talking a little bit earlier about how when black folks come to the islands, we're immediately bombarded with the conditions of the Hawaiians,
Yeah.
right? And so once we're bombarded with that, we lose all frame of reference for our own people and our own plight. And it's almost as if we're ashamed to bring up the things that go wrong with us here because we'll be drowned out by the cries for the Hawaiian,
Yeah.
instead of recognizing that no, I go through worse things than the local people here because I don't even have the support system that you have. So yeah,
That seems like it's part of like the package deal when you come in here, right? A lot of times it's you assimilate or you're going to waste away. And part of that assimilation is to make sure that you understand the feelings of the local community, right? Understand the history of the local community, right? And anytime you bring up your issues or even your things that correlate, they'll be like, "But our
Right.
people,
right.
but this happened to us." So the culture is don't speak about your issues, just understand the issues of Hawaii, right? And then so you'll talk to a Jake, and Jake will be like, yeah. I know he was in slavery. I know we got lynched. I know we got castrated. But the same thing happened over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they say that falsely though, not
Yeah.
even knowing it, because again, you just bombarded with so much of the tears and the complaints, which we're not even commenting on whether or not that is valid, like the tears and complaints.
Right.
We're not commenting on that because we do understand that the Hawaiian people were colonized.
Absolutely.
Their land was taken, right?
Yeah.
We don't have no issue with that. All we're saying is the same way you can speak up for your own people,
Mhm.
right? Our people have lost that. They've lost that desire to do that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they feel like their responsibility is no longer to their own once they come to Hawaii, right? So
Mhm.
that's the weird thing. But I want to get a script.
Go ahead.
Because we know that all the nations they don't want to see us unified.
They don't.
And so they do and say and create environments that try and keep us separate from one another.
Mm-hmm.
But that's biblical. That's what all of the kings before of the other nations have always done to our people. And David spoke about that prophetically, right? Let's get Psalms 2.
Psalms 2,
Yeah, let's get Psalms 2. We can read verse 1 through 3.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
So it says, why do the heathen rage? Obviously, we know the heathen is the other nations.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they rage? And it says, the people imagine a vain thing, because what we're going to find out in the end is that it doesn't matter. Although that's their plan,
Mm-hmm.
their plans will never be stronger than, or they have no base, nothing that vain when it comes to Christ, right? And the Lord. Read.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying,
the kings of the earth, right? That's all the other nations, or the heathen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says they set themselves set themselves, and their rulers take counsel together, right? This goes into the discussions that they have in the back rooms
Mm-hmm.
about the black guy in the company, about the black guy in the community, or the black family in the community. They
Right.
talk about us in conversations when we're not present,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it says, and against the Lord and against his anointed, right? We are the Lord's anointed, saying what? Read.
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Let us break their bands. Let us break their unity. Let us break their brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Let us break it asunder, right? And cast away their cords from us, right? And that's the way the other nations have approached dealing with us. It's always to make sure we're not unified. That's
Mhm.
biblical. That's biblical. But what they don't know is that there is a God. All right? There is a God. And in the end, right, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but in the end, Christ is like, well, I'm going to not only set my people back up on top,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to have them inherit you as a part of their inheritance, the heathen, you know.
That makes black people uncomfortable.
I know.
That makes them.
I know.
Oh, man, I'm gonna rule people. I'm just not built for
That's
that.
not fair.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. It just goes to show the mind of our people. The mind of our people is we really got the mind of children.
Right.
Right. And that's easy manipulation fodder for the other nations.
Right.
Right. They'd be like, I know how the black man thinks. He thinks like a kid. You dangle this carrot in front of him, he'll go for it.
Right.
Right. You dangle this booty in front of him, he'll go for it. You dangle this bag of money, he'll go for it.
Right.
And that leaves it's because we got no sense of unity or loyalty to each other.
Right.
But
Right.
when it comes to the other nations, they got that in droves, so much so that they will forego a profitable business opportunity with you for the sake of their people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the what you're talking about is it really brings to mind the fact that what we do unite for, what we do unite in doing is always foolishness.
Man.
You know, wise to do evil.
Yeah.
You know, like, wise to do evil. So, you know, that makes a lot of sense. You start talking about, you know, how we come together on not just coming back to the laws of God, but then building upon that. How do
Yeah.
we build a community? Well, a community must have some sort of economics to it.
Yeah.
A community must have some sort of, you know,
It's got to have progress and,
Right.
and tangible things,
Right.
right? And,
Tangible
and that's
things.
what black people and Hispanic people they want. 'Cause,
Right.
you know, they tell them we got to keep these laws and be like, well, what's going to happen after that?
right.
Well, the Bible does speak about those things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
you have to have the mind to listen, and you have to have the sense to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to go after. Then I got to do it with all my might,
Right.
right? Or else nothing tangible will happen.
Right.
Right. If you just out here like the Christian church says and just believing and that's it, you never gonna put your hand to the plow. You never gonna put your hand to the plow. You just gonna think magic is going to happen.
Right.
The other nations don't operate like that. The other nations don't sit here and just be like, well, if we all think very hard about it, it'll materialize.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's you know, that's my people are destroyed, right? That's a destroyed mindset where and I think Bishop Yawasop talks about this often, and that is when the other nations see a gap right, from one landmass to another.
You talking about
And
like that big
yeah,
river?
and there's a
Yeah.
river in between.
Yeah.
The black man just goes, oh, well, there's
You
a
can't
river.
cross
Can't
it.
cross it.
Mhm.
But the other nations say, we need to build us a bridge.
What's over there?
Right. Let's get us
Yeah.
a bridge.
Yep.
Right. So that goes to what you were talking about in that childlike mindset
Mhm.
and not really wanting to do things that are tangible. And the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Right. The proof is in the pudding. I know you got some articles that actually back up the statement. So that's just what you're saying, because we'll get some people that live here or just moved to Hawaii and they just completely disagree with everything we're saying because we made this up.
Yep.
Like, no, this is what it is, right? And if you read the economic data that is coming out, right, you would know that this is a real thing, regardless of how many of us are here, because that would be the next thing. It's not a lot of us here.
Mhm.
It's enough of us here. It's enough of us if we had the right mindset. Go ahead. What you
So this is a Yahoo Finance article, right? And it's talking about the salary for a single person to live a life of any kind of substance out here, right? And it says in Hawaii, you need to earn $112,411 a year
Damn.
to make what's considered a living wage.
Ooh.
According to the GBR study, it's the only state where a six-figure salary is required to live comfortably.
Required.
Damn.
Damn.
And no other state even comes close. Right? So then you have Massachusetts. It's ranked second with an annual income of $87,909, followed by California. Now remember, this is a state thing. So I know there's places like San Francisco or Manhattan that may have the ups and downs, but this is talking about as an entire state. Since California, you have to have $80,013. New York, $73,226, and Alaska, $71,570. Right, so if you're making $85,000, you can live anywhere else. Right, but if you have a single household, right, and you're making $85,000, don't add no kids in there and a wife or a dog or whatever. You got to make $100,000 in a household.
Yeah.
Right, guaranteed. That's just to live the minimum amount of joy that a regular life should have.
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's steep.
Yep.
That's slavery.
Yeah.
The only way you can make it, right? And that's the funny part about it is they talk about this being a paradise, but you can't enjoy it because you got to slave all day just to make it, to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So you don't even get to really enjoy this so-called paradise that people say that this is, because you got to work all day and then go to a second job all night.
That's the thing. And when we meet these brothers and sisters, they be like, "Oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta go to my next shift. I got an obligation. I can't come on the Sabbath because I gotta work Saturdays and stuff like that."
Yep.
So we come across brothers all the time that be like, "Yeah, I got 3 jobs," and I'll be like, "Bro, what? How? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have time for other than your work? You don't have time for unity. You don't have time to build with your people. You understand? You don't even have time for your family then.
Right.
So and that's the plight that our people go through. Like, we have to be immersed in our work and getting a paycheck just to have a livable lifestyle here. That means maybe getting a cable. You know what I mean? That's a life and death decision. Should I get cable? Should I use my neighbor's password?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
That's what it is. You
Yeah.
know, those are the things that come. So you got anything on that? Like, you want to jump in?
Well, I mean, I know you got a couple more that kind of continue on with that. But yeah, that is a condition that a lot of our people cannot sustain, and that's why for most of the people that come here, they're only able to stay like once they've not chapped it out. I don't know what it's called when you get out of the military.
PCS.
Right? Once they've PCS'd, they got 24 months or less. And then they're like,
that's crazy.
I got to go back,
That's crazy because when I was getting out the military, there was a guy, you got to go through budgeting and stuff like that, and I'm thinking like, man, bro, I don't feel like being here. You know what I mean? And then the dude was telling me, I know things, seem like they good now,
Right.
but, because I guess he was a homeowner, and he was explaining through his experience that these military guys, when they get out, and then 9 months later, then you got I couldn't make the rent this month. Like in 9 months, that's when it typically happens.
And just so people understand why that is because military gets additional pays, right? When you come to a specific location like Hawaii, there's additional pays, like locality pay, which is basically they give you an extra check because of where you live to help you survive.
Yep,
right?
Cost of living allowance.
Cost of living allowance, right? So once you get out, that's gone because regular people don't get that. You know, you get a paycheck and that's it. So now you've lost 40% of your income, right? Because you don't have that cost of living allowance.
Yep.
And so now what you were once able to afford, you're no longer able to afford. So what happens? I gotta foreclose on my home. I gotta short sale. I can't afford the rent here, and I gotta ultimately move back to the mainland. You know,
or marry a Chinese lady.
There's the safe salvation for the black man.
She already got a house.
Right.
You gonna move in with her.
Right. Yep. Right. Or move in with that Filipino family.
Yeah,
live in the basement,
in their backyard or a shed or something like that. Yeah, that's how it is.
So yeah, no, it's
and here's the thing: people that live here know that stuff, and they just they ignore that fact.
Yeah,
like, bro, you're an adult man.
Yeah, and
you live in the backyard of another family.
Yeah,
right. Everybody has to find their way, but you should not be satisfied with that.
Right.
I had to hard down argue this guy. I was like, bro, like you're not living the good life because you live in this area.
Right.
You live in the backyard of something, and I had to bring up that scripture in Sirach where it talk about when they invite their family, like you gotta go, and he was like, dang, I didn't even think about that. I was like, you didn't think about that?
Yeah. No.
You thought your lease was good forever?
Forever. Yeah, no, but that's again, that's the mindset, and it's a shift in mindset. It's a shift in mindset that needs to happen in order for our people to even want to, you know what I'm saying, make changes, right? You got to have some pain. So something just popped in my head, and it was a good reminder. You know, just in everything that we're talking about here, like there was a brother who was in the military, got out, was homeless, went to the mainland. I mean, he's moved back since.
Yeah.
But we have an actual case of that literally happening that we've witnessed.
Yeah.
Like, personally know the brother.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like got out, and then it got so bad that he actually became homeless, was living in his van. And these are the same people that's like, you know, I have no issue here. Oh, it's a great place. Hawaii's wonderful, and I just love it, and blah, 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 blah. Brother, you can't live in a house?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not wonderful.
Yeah, that's
not wonderful. You know, so.
And that's what you always say about the mystique of Hawaii. Yeah, like, the people are overlook that type of stuff, even if it's personally their situation, and just say, well, I live by the beach, though.
Right.
I live by the beach.
You live on the sand.
Yeah.
You live with the crabs. The crabs live on the beach, too.
Yep. It'd be wild dogs out there too. It'd be crackheads living out there the same way.
Yeah, they live on the beach too. They got a beachfront house too.
Matter of fact, a crackhead will tell you life is good.
Right. Sure will.
Life is good.
Sure will. What else you
let me get this next article here right. I'm gonna skip one of the articles for sake of time, right? But this one is called "Why Japanese Love Hawaii," right? So this is on Stream It.
And the good part about this is that for those that don't know, the Japanese make up a large portion of the population in Hawaii, right? There's like an entire area called Kaimuki where it's like mainly Ammon. It's like mainly Ammon, which is over by like the university for those that have any geographical knowledge of Oahu, which is where we are, right? There's a whole area called Kaimuki. A lot of Japanese were back there.
Yep.
In that area as well. But this is and there are huge tourists here too.
That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Right. So just an excerpt of this article. It says the Kaka'ako district is situated just over 2 kilometers northwest of Waikiki, near the Ala Moana Center. Right. That's a shopping mall that Ammon basically owns the whole bottom floor of that. Like it's they got their own bank, bus. They got they own food court. There's the regular food court, and it's their food court
with their language, their writing, their all that stuff.
And it's even set up the way that it's crazy.
So they didn't have to assimilate.
They didn't.
Oh, okay.
They had to come here and they be like, "We gonna keep it Japanese." All right. So the Ala Moana Center, a shopping mall overlooking a beach that features a vast array of brand stores, large-scale redevelopment is progressing, and plans to build new condominiums are being announced one after another. One of these is the 23-story One Alamona scheduled for completion in late 2014. Now this is old, but look, in 2012, 205 units measuring between 70 to 371 square meters were sold for prices ranging from 500,000 to 10 million, approximately 30 million yen, all that type of stuff. 31 condos marketed to Japanese buyers were snapped up immediately.
Yeah.
Right. So now, what does this do? Because a lot of times locals are complaining about, they selling paradise and stuff like that. Well, once they get the foothold in, they create an opportunity for their people. Right. So right next to the mall where they can go to their food court and experience there and go to their banks and have their tour buses and stuff like that. They have their own vacation homes.
Yeah.
Right. And that area becomes their area.
Right.
Because they said, we need to keep this for ourselves.
Right.
We need to be able to be comfortable here for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's how they think. And no one thinks twice about it.
No,
they'll complain on the side somewhere, but no one says that's the heart of the issue.
Yeah.
Their unity is a problem for us. No one says that. But when we do it, when we say, hey, look, let's get some brothers together. Oh, I don't have the time. I'm working too much. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Even when everybody was on the plantation, right? Because in Hawaii, all nations were on the plantation.
Right.
We'll just leave it at that, right? Right. All nations were on the plantation, but the Japanese in particular made sure that after working hours, they started schools for their children to maintain their culture, their language, all that type of stuff.
And it's still here today.
It's still here.
There's still Japanese cultural centers to this day.
Yeah. Even what's that school? Kuman?
Yes,
or whatever.
there it is. That's it.
Japanese too.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
All right. So they understand like the fervent need to keep their culture alive.
Yeah.
And to establish unity by any means necessary.
But the thing is that a lot of people don't realize that cultural identity establishes unity in itself. Because we now have the same mindset for our people together to move our people together, because I know that we are the same people.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, without cultural identity, which is what we as a people lack, how do we know? Here's the test we always run. Ask 5 different black people what their nationality is. You're gonna get 5 different answers. Somebody's gonna say African American. Somebody's gonna say Afro American.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna say Negro. Somebody's gonna say black. Someone's gonna say I'm a Christian.
Someone's gonna say I'm Popolo.
Damn.
Out here.
Right? Which is nigga, just for those that don't know.
No, I don't mean that. I mean it's like a black
Dark
flower.
nightshade.
Yeah, it's a flower.
Yeah. But they don't call you don't call Elam that, and Elam be blacker than us.
Yep.
All right? No, it's specifically for you, black man and black woman, specifically. All right? So we know what that means. But yeah, no, it's that lack of identity is it's a curse. It's a curse. And the only people that are doing anything today about that curse and trying to break through that curse is the Israelites.
Yep.
There's no one else that's doing it. Everyone else has tried and it has failed because, well, we know they failed because they didn't have the laws of God behind them. So there was no spirit behind it, because we had Black Wall Street. All right. We had Chicago was founded by a black man. It was a well-established neighborhood as well. We've seen pockets of this, but it always breaks down at some point, right? Why? Because it wasn't founded in the laws of God. But now you've got the Israelites trying to push through that, which goes to another point, which I don't want to take it somewhere else. But when people always say, well, what do the Israelites do for their community? Right. First thing is, right, we're trying to get our minds right. And then the next thing is we start talking about things like this. We have an Israelite Black Wall Street, right? We've got these different things going on amongst each other, right? Because we understand that, we're here to build one another up within our community. All right. So you had a scripture you was going to pull up?
Let's get that one in Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Let's get that one in Jeremiah. Right. Especially on the subject. That's good stuff.
Jeremiah chapter
29.
29 and 5.
Yep.
I'll read it for you. It says, build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters.
Right. That means build a family, right? So we got to build houses and dwell in them, right? Plant these gardens and eat the fruit. That means we got to build businesses and reap the benefits of these things, right? And at the same time, take ye wives and beget sons and daughters. You got to have a family. Start building a family. That's extremely important out here for tangible purposes, for financial purposes, for economic purposes. Everybody want to be a hustler. Don't nobody want to build a family.
Right. And it, dang, just want to throw this in there. And the problem is, a lot of our sisters out here don't want to have families.
Oh, yo, it was crazy.
I don't want to take the conversation somewhere else. I know it's a whole nother topic.
Dang,
but they don't even want to have families.
That's crazy.
How do you start what is a community made up of? Families.
Yep. That's crazy.
All right,
I want to bring that up.
I
know that's crazy.
I know.
All right.
Another topic. Definitely another topic for sure.
Crazy. Right.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters,
mm-hmm.
and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, and that ye may be increased there and not diminished.
So that's what we have to do. But instead, what we like to do is diminish. Right? So we'll take wives with other people, right? With other nations, and we'll give our sons over to them, and then our sons go ahead and play football and build up their communities and stuff like that, and you'll think that you're doing something good. Right? But where's the unity and the love for your own people to build up your community, to build up your family lineage, to build up your people, right? So when brothers get here, they feel alone a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Sisters get here, they feel alone a lot of times because there is no community. There is no community for them to be brought into, right? Even there's that Korean community down in Kalihi behind that church.
Yeah,
they got all kind of apartment buildings. When you go Kalihi, back in the hills by Kalihi, there's all type of racially charged or racially biased communities. Right, and no one says anything about it. It doesn't even be the names of their church. Right, this church is
Korean Baptist Church.
Yeah. And but no one says anything about those things. Right, so it's important for us to come back to our laws, statutes, and commandments, and to build houses, dwell in them, to plant gardens and eat the fruit thereof, to marry off our children according to our laws, which means you got to marry them off to Israelites. Right. That's how we build our community. That's what we do. That's what God commanded us to do.
And he did command us to do that, but at the same time, he did command us to do that, and I didn't mean to say but at the same time. What I was trying to say was our forefathers actually did do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got examples of that in the scriptures that our forefathers had a mind to build when they were driven out of their homes, went into captivity, started to come back together. They had a mind to build.
Mm-hmm.
And the two names that come to mind is Ezra and Nehemiah, obviously Zerubbabel as well.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of scriptures in Ezra that come to mind as we're talking about building houses, dwelling in them, and the mindset that was with our forefathers during that time. Ezra 3:1.
Yes, sir.
Because you talk about unity. The base of that is unity.
Mm-hmm.
And unified, why? Because my people don't have something.
Right.
Not I myself.
But what about all people?
Right. No. My people don't have something. That's a trick bad that they do for us because no one else thinks like that.
No one else.
We just finished talking about the Korean neighborhood, the Korean church, the Korean this. We talked about the Japanese. You had the article about the Japanese neighborhood, the Japanese real estate, the Japanese community with their own stores, their own tour companies, and truth be told, even with Moab, there is a thought process when Moab tour companies come to Hawaii. They make sure that they take their tour groups to their people's establishments.
What's that thing called? Zero cost tourism or something like that?
Look it up.
Yep, zero cost tourism.
They make sure that they take their people to their people's establishments here in Hawaii. So the Chinese group is going to go to the Chinese restaurant. Mm-hmm. It's going to go to the Chinese. It's going to get its trinkets or what do you call it? Souvenirs from the Chinese shop. Mm-hmm. It's going to do everything. It's going to go through the tour, the agent,
the Chinese airline,
the Chinese airline, agent. The Chinese travel agent. Everything is going to be. That's learning how and understanding how to keep your dollar in your community, even when you travel. That's what the other nations do. We have no concept of that.
No concept. Of
No
that.
concept of that. But it starts with a lack of identity. And
Mhm.
with identity comes this mindset. Go ahead, read that.
Ezra chapter 3 and verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man.
As what?
As one man.
You see the mind of our people when we had unity. When we came together, it was like one person coming together, which means we're going that way because we have the same mind. Right now, we know the scriptures say that also in Paul said that in 1 Corinthians 1 and 10.
Mhm.
Same mind and same judgment. But what we're reading here is the example of our forefathers and our foremothers coming together with one mind.
Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
Yeah.
And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach.
So I want you to know this is the words of Nehemiah, who's working for the king in Susa or Shushan.
Mhm.
What is it? Is it Shushan? Shushan, the palace, right? Nehemiah worked in the palace, and he's being asked, "What's wrong with you? Why do you seem so down?" And this is his response. Read it again.
And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity here in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven.
So, and I said it backwards because he guess he's gonna be down after he got the news of what had happened. But the point is that he had a mind toward his people, and what he saw was like the walls of his city were broken down, and so he was afflicted, right? So what does that do? That's going to force you or push you into a mind of being unified to build these things back up, right? Because it hurt.
Yeah.
Black people don't get hurt when our communities are in shambles. We don't feel that because we don't have that sense of connection like they had. But these are the examples that we can turn to. Jump down to where you was at, chapter 2.
2 and 17.
Yeah.
Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire.
Now he just got that news. So now he's exhorting the brethren, right? Read.
Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more reproach. Then I told them.
No, that's it. Right. So now you see the mindset. The mindset is, hey, come on, man. We looking bad. Let's go back and build it up. That's unity. That's what we lack today. Right? These are the practical things that are in the scriptures that people say, what's that Bible got for it? Well, okay, keep the commandments. Now, okay, now we're looking at the examples of our forefathers, and they putting the mindset under your people, go back and build. We read that in Jeremiah, we're reading that in Nehemiah, right? Yeah. Go back and build. Build what? Build your community. We're smart as hell.
Yep.
We just got to come back with as one man, like our forefathers did before. You know,
I don't know, dog. I don't like that.
Right.
That, I just don't be feeling like what, other people, like our people are so disconnected from the term unity when it comes to our people that it's almost like they're repulsed by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But whenever it comes for unity for everybody else, then they be like, yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking the other day, it was us. We was talking about it where like Jake just loved to be diverse.
Right.
There's like some kind of benefit to just being like the diversity. I have a diverse group of friends.
Right. Yeah.
We were saying nobody got a diverse group of friends where one person's a dork and one person's a idiot and one person is a stock market genius. They always be like, my diverse group of friends is one Chinese, one Korean, one white person, and we all smoke weed. Right. That's what their idea of diversity is. Right. The diversity has to be racial.
Right.
It can't be just this different personalities.
Skills.
Yeah, it don't never be that.
Carpenter, mason, electrician. That's diversity.
That's not diverse enough. But we all black, so it's not diverse.
Right. Yeah.
Madness.
That's buying into the idea, of the other nations, which is to break our band asunder. And that's something that we talked about before. When people come here, what tends to happen is that once you're around a group of people long enough, you begin to take on their ideology.
Mhm.
You know, we have that scripture in Psalms 106 and 35 where
Yep.
it says we learn their works. I know we're talking about idolatry and stuff, but it also just goes into the general mindset that you have
Yeah.
for yourself and for your people, right?
Mhm.
Because you think like them now.
Yeah.
You've adopted the way they think. And then, like you said, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Whenever that comes to mind, I be thinking about them twins, them light skinned twins that be on
Oh God,
podcast.
yeah.
I be thinking about what's that dude, Jesse Peterson.
Yeah, Jesse
Is that's
Peterson.
just the Jake to be like amazing. That dude.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, you're just saying all the stuff that white people taught you to say about black people.
Yep.
You're just thinking all the things that white people taught you to think about black people.
Right.
And now you saying it like it's your words.
Right.
And we looking at you repeat from the teleprompter that a white person had. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy's different. He's thinking outside the box. No, he's thinking exactly inside the box. That's it. Outside of the box is black unity.
Right.
Black and Hispanic unity.
Right.
That's outside the box.
Yeah. That's unheard of. That's definitely a diverse thinking.
Mm-hmm.
From the general thought of black people.
Yeah.
Right. But as we come into this truth, I mean, and as we learn who we are, which is what we are about at IUIC, we are about teaching our people who we are. It's not about really anybody else. And that's the thing is like, you know, a lot of our people get turned off because they believe what the other nations have said about us to break our bands asunder and say, stay away from those guys. Those guys are bad. Huh?
Right.
Even though we're just talking unity. That's all you hear us talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, like, we've allowed the other nations to come in and put in our mind that, no, we can't be with those guys over there. Like, that's all we're talking about is unity. But unity with our people.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Nations trade among nations. No one's saying that we're not going to deal with the other nations. We're just saying we want to build ourselves up.
Yep.
Right? Moab does it. But no one says nothing about them, right? They own Waikiki.
Yeah.
They own. You didn't read that article, but Koalina, which is a huge resort area,
500 acres.
Yeah, it's a huge resort area. And then you got Waikiki. These are Chinese real estate conglomerates. I guess the word is.
Yes. It's that Pacific group or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't say we're China, but they rename it and then they. So I actually found out in that article a lot of these little stores that you be looking like, man, this got to be like money laundering because they only selling like little trinkets and stuff, and they got prime real estate.
And no one's in there ever.
It'd be that major corporation that buy that. It's just how they put they foothold in there, and when they get their zero cost tourism, they can go buy their little candies or whatever. Like they thinking many steps ahead.
Yeah.
And black people out here trying to find out like what club to go to.
That's it.
That's what it is. And can't even be unified on that.
But I'm a firm believer in everybody should do their own thing.
Nope. Because another topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. This is definitely a good topic as far as, you know, talking about what's next. You know, at the end of the day, what's next? Well, what's next is building. What's next is building. We have the examples. Build ye houses and dwell in them. Well, houses and families and communities, they come, but we gotta all be as one man, right? Mentally on the same page in order to be able to take that next step together. Otherwise, we get the same thing that we've been getting.
Yeah.
We've been getting the same thing. Look at all of your black groups, right? Wherever you live, we've got some of those, a remnant of those, some of those here in Hawaii as well, and they still do the same thing. Nothing. When it comes to, like you said, tangible things.
Yeah.
Tangible things. They'll throw some, they'll throw the fundraising galas that they call them, galas.
Yeah.
Right? They'll do all that stuff. But when it comes to tangible things, they don't have that. They don't even have a building to bring their people together.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
They don't.
Right.
And y'all know it.
The Israelites
y'all
do.
know it, right? Like they not gonna admit it. Be like, nah, my pastor or my such and such does all. Yeah, we be in the community.
Right.
We know what's out there. Right. We dedicate our time to finding out the solutions that the black people need, how to apply the laws to those things. Right? How to give the people the gospel. We gotta talk with y'all. So when y'all say the lie, we be like, nah, we know the story. We actually talk with your president, your vice president already. Right. So we already got the inside scoop. We've been to this place already. We went to that organization already, and we saw that. So when you come up here and you say it's not like that, yes, it is.
Right.
We know exactly what's going on. All right. We have to go through some of them avenues the same way y'all got to go through them avenues. So it's time for the black man to be honest with himself here. You know what I mean? Look, I'm lacking unity. I'm lacking a culture. Let me go be with my people. They just don't want to. They for some reason they be like, look, I'm throwing up whenever I think of that.
Damn.
Right.
But good topic. All praise to the Most High. Hopefully, we were able to shed some light, right, on some of the things going on here in the islands of Hawaii, just so you can see the mindset of brothers and sisters out here, right? So we're gonna keep doing that, keep staying on that job to bring you stories, news, current events of what's going on in these islands, and keep Israel aware of what's happening, right? And what are the biblical solutions, and generally looking at these things through God's lens and bringing it to the people. All right.
Yeah.
So with that, shalom Israel. Until next episode.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, His word, His word, His word.